Let's start this video with answering this simple yet thoughtful question. What is war? We think of it as conflict on a battlefield, soldiers, tanks, and territory. But what if the most important battles you fight aren't against an army? What if they're in the negotiation room for a new job, in the middle of a difficult conversation with a partner, or in the quiet, internal struggle against your own worst habits? For over 2,500 years, one book has been the definitive guide to winning these conflicts. It's The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And here's the first secret. This book is not just about war, it's about strategy. And its ultimate goal is not to teach you how to fight, but how to win. How to achieve your objectives with the least amount of conflict and the greatest amount of efficiency. Many people have heard the famous quotes, but few understand how to apply them to their daily lives. Today, we're changing that. We're extracting 15 timeless lessons from this ancient text and turning them into practical tools you can use to navigate the battlefield of modern life. This is not just philosophy. This is a manual for living. Welcome to Pillars of Thought. Let's get started. Lesson 1. The supreme excellence is to win without fighting. The very first lesson, and the most important, is this. Sun Tzu wrote, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." Think about that. The greatest general isn't the one who wins 100 battles. It's the one who doesn't even have to fight. In military terms, this means using diplomacy, intelligence, and psychological pressure to make the enemy surrender before the battle even begins. In your life, this is the art of de-escalation and a win-win mindset. Most of us approach conflict like a zero-sum game. For me to win, you have to lose. This is a losing strategy. When you win an argument with a friend or a partner by crushing them, you've still lost. You've damaged the relationship. You've created resentment. A true master of strategy finds a way for both parties to win. The next time you're in a disagreement, stop trying to win the argument. Change your objective. Ask yourself, how can I get to an outcome we're both happy with? In a job negotiation, it's not about bleeding the company dry, it's about proving your value so they want to pay you what you're worth. In a disagreement, it's about understanding the other person's position so well that you can find a solution they hadn't even considered. The goal is not victory. The goal is resolution.
Lesson 2. Know yourself and know your enemy. This is the most famous quote in the book. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Let's break this down. First, know yourself. This is the foundation of all self-improvement. Do you truly know your strengths, your weaknesses, your emotional triggers? What makes you procrastinate? What are you really good at? An honest self-assessment is your greatest tool. Second, know your enemy. In life, your enemy is rarely a person. Your enemy might be the challenge you're facing, such as a difficult exam or a public speech. It might be the system you're in, such as your company's culture or the job market. Or, most often, your enemy is your own self-destructive habits, such as your procrastination, your fear, or your ego. If you're going into a job interview, knowing yourself means knowing your resume inside and out. Knowing your enemy means researching the company, their needs, their challenges, and the person interviewing you. If you're trying to break a bad habit, knowing yourself means knowing your triggers. Knowing your enemy means understanding the cue and reward loop that keeps that habit in place. Don't walk into any situation blind. Do the analysis. Victory is born from information. Lesson 3. Choose your battles wisely. Sun Tzu wrote, "He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight." This is about energy management. You have a finite amount of energy, time, and political capital. Don't waste it on battles that don't matter or on battles you can't win. In the modern world, we are baited into conflict every single day. That angry email, that provocative comment on social media, that minor disagreement about which movie to watch. A master strategist knows that most of these fights are distractions. They are a drain on your resources. Before you engage, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Is this important? Does winning this actually move me closer to my long-term goals? 2. Can I win? Do I have the resources, leverage, and position to win this? 3. Is it worth it? Is the potential reward worth the energy I'm about to spend? You'll quickly find that 90% of the conflicts you're tempted to enter aren't worth it. Save your energy for the 10% that truly define your future. Lesson 4. Be adaptable and formless like water. This is one of my favorite lessons. Sun Tzu says, "Military tactics are like unto water, for water, in its natural course, runs away from high places and hastens downwards. So, in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and to strike at what is weak." He also says water has no constant form. It takes the shape of its container. Life is unpredictable. Your 5-year plan will break. The career path you set will change. The person you thought you'd be is not the person you are. A rigid person shatters. A flexible person adapts. If you have a rigid plan, a single failure can destroy you. But if you are adaptable, a failure is just feedback. It's a new obstacle to flow around. When your boss denies your request, don't just ram against the no, the strong point. Flow around it. What's their real objection, the weak point? Is it budget? Is it timing? Find the weak point and apply your pressure there. Be formless. Be flexible. Be like water. Lesson 5. Plan meticulously. Win before the battle. Sun Tzu states, "The victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory." What does this mean? It means the battle is won or lost before you ever step on the field. It's won in the preparation. We love stories of heroic last-minute victories, but Sun Tzu would call that a failure of planning. Your victory in an exam is not decided in the exam hall. It's decided in the weeks of study leading up to it. Your success in a presentation is not decided when you're on stage. It's decided in the hours you spent practicing. Your success in a hard conversation is decided by the time you spent anticipating their perspective and clarifying your own. Do so much preparation, what Sun Tzu called tempo calculations, that by the time the battle arrives, the outcome is just a formality. Lesson 6. All strategy is based on deception. Control the narrative. Now this one sounds manipulative. Sun Tzu wrote, "All warfare is based on deception." He said, "When able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must seem inactive." In modern life, this isn't about lying. It's about strategic presentation. It's about not playing your entire hand. Think about a negotiation. If you walk in and say, "I desperately need this job, I'll take anything," you have lost all your leverage. You've shown your whole hand. But if you walk in with calm confidence, presenting your value while also implying you have other options, you are in a position of power. You are appearing unable, not desperate, even when you are able, very interested. This lesson is about moving in silence. Don't announce your big goals to everyone. Why? Because you invite criticism, jealousy, and competition. Work quietly. Let your results talk for themselves. Control what you reveal, to whom and when. That is not deception.
That is wisdom. Lesson 7. Avoid prolonged warfare. Sun Tzu has a sharp warning for long conflicts. There is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged warfare. Long wars drain the treasury, break the morale of the people, and exhaust the army. Even if you win, the cost is so high that you've actually lost. The life equivalent are grudges, festering arguments, unresolved problems. Nothing will drain your mental and emotional energy faster than a prolonged, low-level conflict. That argument with a family member that's lasted for months, that resentment you hold against a coworker, that problem in your life you refuse to make a decision on. These things are expensive. They cost you peace of mind, focus, and happiness. Sun Tzu's advice is to seek a decisive, swift victory. When a conflict arises, deal with it, head on, honestly, and then let it go. If you can't solve it, consciously disengage, but do not allow a war to drag on in your mind. It's a price you can't afford to pay.
Lesson 8. Strike at the weak point. The 80-20 principle. We already touched on this, but it deserves its own lesson. Avoid what is strong and strike at what is weak. This is the essence of efficiency. It's the 80-20 rule. Most people take the opposite approach. They ram their heads against the strongest part of a problem. You're trying to get your kid to clean their room. You yell, "Clean your room!" The strong point. They resist. The strategic approach? Find the weak point. Hey, if you get your room clean in 15 minutes, we can play video games. You've just struck at the weakness, their desire for a reward. In your work, don't try to be 10% better at 10 different things. Find the one thing that creates 80% of the value, the weak point, and focus all your energy there. Stop attacking the fortress walls. Look for the open gate. Lesson 9. Information is your greatest weapon. Sun Tzu dedicated an entire chapter to the use of spies. He said foreknowledge is the single most valuable asset a general can have. In your life, spies are not people in trench coats. Your spies are research, empathy, and listening. Before making a big decision, do you gather intelligence? Market research is spying. Reading books on a subject is spying. Asking for advice from a mentor is spying. And most importantly, truly listening to another person is the highest form of spying. They will tell you everything you need to know, their fears, their desires, their objections, if you just stop talking and listen. Never act on assumptions. Assumptions are the fog of war. They get you ambushed. Act on information. Get clarity. The person with the best information almost always wins. Lesson 10. You are the commander. Sun Tzu lists the 5 virtues a commander must have. 1. Wisdom, to plan and see opportunities. 2. Sincerity, to build trust. 3. Benevolence, to care for your troops. 4. Courage, to act decisively. And 5. Strictness, to maintain discipline. Now, look in the mirror. You are the commander of your own life. Your troops are your habits, your energy, your time, and your mind. You must have wisdom to plan your future, sincerity to be honest with yourself about your flaws, benevolence to practice self-care and not burn yourself out, courage to take the risks necessary for growth, and strictness to have the self-discipline to do what you said you were going to do. If your troops are in disarray, if you're chaotic, undisciplined, and fearful, it is a failure of the commander. It is a failure of you. This final lesson is the ultimate pillar of thought. Lead yourself first.
Lesson 11. Timing is everything. Strike when the iron is hot. Sun Tzu wrote, "He who knows when he can fight and when he cannot will be victorious." This lesson is about timing. The right move at the wrong time is still the wrong move. In battle, a commander waits for the precise moment when the enemy is weak, distracted, or unprepared, and then he strikes. In life, we often mistake impatience for ambition. We want things now. But every plan, every dream, every opportunity has its season. A business idea before you've done the research will fail. A confession of love before trust is built may fall flat. A career move before your skills are ready might backfire. Timing is strategy. Don't rush the process, read the battlefield. When everything aligns, your preparation, your moment, your courage, strike swiftly and decisively. Because sometimes hesitation costs more than failure. Lesson 12. Leave your opponent an escape route. This is one of the most brilliant psychological insights in the book. Sun Tzu warned, "To a surrounded army, you must leave an outlet. Don't press a desperate foe too hard." Why? Because an enemy with no escape route, no hope, will fight with superhuman desperate strength. They have nothing left to lose, and they will inflict maximum damage, even in defeat. But if you leave them an out, they will almost always take it. The life equivalent? Let the other person save face. You've just won an argument. You've proven your point. The other person is cornered and embarrassed. Don't go for the kill. Don't say, "I told you so." If you do, you've won the battle, but you've created a long-term enemy. Instead, give them an escape route. "I see where you are coming from," or "That's a valid point, but perhaps this new data changes things." You let them back down gracefully. You get your way, and you preserve the relationship. That is a strategic victory. Lesson 13. Never fight on unfavorable ground. Sun Tzu analyzed terrain. Knowing where to fight was as crucial as knowing how. In life, your terrain is your environment, your habits, your people, your surroundings. If you're surrounded by negativity, distractions, or drama, that's hostile ground. You'll lose focus and energy before the battle even begins. Think of it like planting a seed. Even the best seed won't grow in poor soil. So choose your environment carefully. Walk away from conflicts that drain your peace. Don't fight battles that don't lead to growth. The smartest warrior isn't the one who fights everywhere. It's the one who chooses where victory is possible.
Lesson 14. Move with speed and seize opportunity. All the planning in the world is useless without action. Sun Tzu balanced his deep emphasis on planning with an equal emphasis on speed. He wrote, "Let your rapidity be that of the wind. When you move, fall like a thunderbolt." He taught that a general must be able to recognize a fleeting opportunity and act decisively without hesitation. In your life, this is the antidote to paralysis by analysis. Voiceover. You can research the perfect business idea for years. You can plan the perfect diet. You can wait for the perfect moment to ask for that promotion. But planning can become a form of procrastination. The planning is meant to prepare you for the moment the opportunity appears. When that window opens, when that job is posted, when that person is in the room, when you feel that spark of courage, you must move. Victory belongs to those who are both prepared and decisive. Lesson 15. Chaos is opportunity in disguise. Sun Tzu said, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." Every disaster contains the seed of something valuable if you can stay calm enough to see it. When things go wrong, when your plans collapse, when life seems against you, most people freeze or retreat. But the strategist steps back and asks, "What can I learn? What advantage does this chaos hide? Lost your job? Maybe it's the push you needed to start something new. Failed a relationship? Maybe it revealed the patterns you needed to fix before finding the right one. History shows the greatest victories often begin in confusion. If you can stay steady while everyone else panics, the battlefield becomes yours. So when the storm hits, don't curse it, read it. In a nutshell, The Art of War has endured for centuries, not because it's a great book about war, but because it's a profound book about psychology and strategy. Life is a series of conflicts, not always with others, but with our circumstances, our limitations, and ourselves. You don't win these battles with aggression. You win them with wisdom. You win by knowing yourself. You win by choosing your battles. You win by being adaptable. And you win, most importantly, by preparing so thoroughly that by the time the test arrives, you've already won. Thanks for joining me on Pillars of Thought. My question for you is, which of these 15 lessons resonates with you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more practical philosophy to master your life, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video. I'll see you in the next one.